How's it going, everybody? Friday night, LSU Alabama transfer wars. What's up, Rev? Joining the show, huh? How's it going, buddy? This is cute little Rivers here. He's a diehard Tigers fan. Always barking at Nick Saban every time he sees him. It's bastard. But Rivers will be our audience for today. And hopefully you are too. LSU Alabama transfer wars. Came up with this idea when I was thinking about, I haven't addressed the Eli Ricks transfer yet on the website. Through my writing, through any sort of other medium, I have not addressed Eli Ricks transfer. And it's because I haven't wanted to. That's one of the best parts of not having a boss. It's really disturbing to me that this happened, that he would leave and go not to USC, not to back home in Southern California, but he'd go to our direct enemy, without question, direct enemy, obviously. That makes no sense to me. It reeks of a bit of maybe betrayal. I feel betrayed, so now I'm going to strike. This is what this is what I'm trying to accomplish here. Is you got rid of Coach O, or maybe Eli and his family heard that Corey Raymond had some dissatisfaction, was out himself. Maybe they knew that was coming. I'm not too sure what Eli's motivations were. I'm not sure what his motivations were in going to Alabama. I'm stunned. I don't think it's just about NIL. I think this is about evening a score. I think this is personal for Eli. I'm not, just flying off the wall here. I've been thinking about this for a while before I wanted to speak on it, because I really do think that it is a multifaceted scenario here with Eli Ricks, where it's got a lot of layers to it, where mad love for LSU, but at the same time, he feels like we changed direction. We pulled the carpet out from underneath him, and he wanted to go elsewhere. LSU was not what he thought it was going to be. Losing all the games we did, him dealing with his shoulder injuries. He should have just gotten the shoulder surgery right after his senior year, or did it during the season, his senior year at IMG, and none of this may have happened. Eli could have finished the season, both of the last two seasons, 100% healthy, never sit it down, and maybe we're not talking about him going to Alabama or something nuts like that. It's stunning. It's stunning how that happened. Eli Ricks was one of the most beloved LSU Tigers I can think of in recent memory. Like, just universally beloved, this guy. I can't think of anybody who was like, oh, I hate Eli Ricks before this happened. I can't think of a single LSU fan who was, screw Eli Ricks or some garbage like that. Nobody was like that. Everyone thought this guy has swagger. He has total DBU badass vibes to him. And we thought this guy is going to be here for 3, maybe even he'll, be generous and give us a 4th year, in fact, which would be nuts. But who knows? He's that type of cat. But it was not to be. And now you got him going to Alabama. Um, I don't know what to make of it. What do you, the fans, make of Eli Ricks going to Alabama? Do you think it's a personal thing? He wants to strike back at LSU for getting rid of Coach O, for flipping the script on his experience there, or do you think it's more of just an opportunity, financial, NIL type of thing, where obviously Alabama win championships and he wants to be seen as a winner. I think losing is a big part of this. Huge competitor, losing these games, big deal for Eli Ricks. The whole thing just completely caved in on itself the last 2 years here at LSU, and we've been, there has been some transfer attrition, but losing one of LSU's most fabled freshmen of all time, a player who is ascending and continuing to ascend before the disastrous 2021 season, even had an interception in his hometown appearance against UCLA that was absolutely just filthy. He continued to prove what type of a player he was. He was making 6 solo tackles on the edge, making plays in the backfield here and there. And then once his shoulder was kind of gave out or whatever happened because of the prior problems with it, you saw him just have that bad whiff on Will Levis where it was amateurish at best. And that's what happens when you play DB injured. It can make you look bad because guys are just that fast nowadays. If you cannot match that speed, you will be turned out. And even Eli Ricks, as amazing as he is, found that out the hard way. And I don't think he was ready for that. I don't think he's ever experienced that type of humiliation, especially prolonged humiliation that LSU as a team and as a defense individually and collectively suffered throughout 2020 and the first parts of 2021. 2021, they had a huge turnaround on defense once all of the stars went away. Once all of the big names got hurt and banged up, LSU's defense turned around. Once Coach Ed Orgeron was fired and could stop, manipulating the fronts of Durante Jones's defense, where Coach O isn't exactly, telling Durante Jones what to do, but he's saying, you can't tell me how to run my fronts, and I'm going to run my fronts how I want to because I'm the D-line guy. And so in doing so, it completely screws up Durante Jones's scheme, as you now can see when you look at and compare the fronts in the first half of the year compared with the fronts we used with the improved defenses in the second half. Huge gap. We're using like bear formations and 3-5s and all sorts of weird, awesome, exotic blitzes from out of nowhere. Just stuff we've been craving for. Creative defense instead of this transparent rush 4 up the gut. We've got 4 great guys. We're going to get them. Yeah. Just that old-fashioned style defense was not working anymore. And so, it's very interesting to me that if there's some star trouble at LSU and that is the way Brian Kelly wants to take it in the future, that, hey, the first half of the season we had all these players and we sucked. This is what we saw from LSU. The second half of the year, all these stars supposedly went away and Ty Davis-Price became the team's MVP. Damone Clark became the team's MVP, you could also argue. Unbelievable performances from both of those guys, especially, Damone Clark on defense. How this guy was not given All-American, how this guy was not given the Butkus Award. Shame on those committees. Shame on you. Absolutely disgusting, disgraceful. You have no excuses. This was straight up politics. No excuses. Damone had twice as many it was twice as many solo tackles as Nakobe Dean from Georgia had total tackles. It was some crazy stat like that. I remember tweeting it, posting that out there, and writing it in our article where there's so many numbers that were like Damone Clark has like double this guy's tackles, and all just literally the stat book. Interception, his first ever interception, some passes defended, so a bunch of fumble recoveries and forced fumbles, a bunch of tackles for loss. Like it didn't even compare. It wasn't even close. It was disgusting and disgraceful. But moving on from that, you saw some strong performances from those type of guys, and maybe that's the direction Brian Kelly wants to take it in. Guys who want to be at LSU, who, if just given the platform, given the chance, will rise up like those stars and maybe even play better because they'll be more committed. Not just leave if the wind blows a different way, different direction. But we got to talk about it. LSU versus Alabama transfer wars. There's one player they're going after right now with everything they've got. Kayshon Boutte, our receiver. Kayshon Boutte, our receiver. Kayshon Boutte, you saw the quote, LSUODYSSEY.COM. They're on our Twitter, @Lon Phillips. Follow us there. This is like the 15 billionth time we've quoted Kayshon Boutte's father, M, publicly on the record, where talking about Kayshon with the injury, numerous other things, and now this is the second or third time we've quoted him on the record about his son's, all these rumors about Kayshon, going to Alabama. And then today you saw something ridiculous, something that was borderline just nuts. W. Keith Friedman, I want to make sure I get that right, posted this just absolutely scandalous, sources tell me Kayshon Boutte coming to Alabama, just absolute madness. I didn't send that to M. Boutte. M. Boutte sent that to me with the comment, more bullshit. And then, no, and then his quote, no fucking source is closer than me. Like, he was pissed. He was pissed off. I mean, M even changed his longtime profile photo to him in an LSU hat. And then his son has literally said on the record, and Kayshon's a no-nonsense guy who's not going to be crying and saying, hey, believe me, I'm going to stay at LSU. He's going to be like, fine, okay? He's a quiet guy. He's said it numerous times on Jordy Culotta's show, on the news, when he's right there on the sideline watching Westgate, his alma mater, play in the state title game, a game they would eventually win. He said that multiple times. Kayshon, his father. Kayshon, his father. Kayshon. Like, what more do you need? Like, I mean, it's just, what more do the people need for these rumors to stop? And it wasn't just a rumor. That's just an absolute straight up lie that guy just posted today. He said he's a retired blah, blah, blah. Yeah, there's a reason you're retired, and it's going to stay that way because you're straight up trying to work for Saban's recruiting people or whatever you're doing and steal our guys. Messed up. Absolutely messed up. Wow. Just gross. Gross today. And that's what you're going to see a lot of. You're going to see a lot of shady tactics coming in the recruiting game because it's the wild, wild west. There's been no cap. There's been no this is what's acceptable. This is what's allowed in this new era of NIL. What is tampering? Huh? Wait, what? Oh, anything LSU does, specifically Will Wade. But Nick Saban, he can talk to players before. I mean, he's Nick Saban, right? Before they, go into the transfer portal. It's fine. It's cool. That's not tampering, right? This is how you tamper. I'm going to tell you something that's just straight up the truth, and there's players who will back me up on this. Okay, get ready for this. God, this straw sounds horrible. Alabama know the days of recruiting our players straight up against us, whether it was Kelly or even Coach Ed Orgeron just recently at the start of this 2022 class, they can't out recruit us straight up in the state of Louisiana. So what they do, they turn LSU's fan base against these young men, whether they're current Tigers or they're recruits out there, high school players. They have the media constantly putting out rumors of going to Alabama. They have certain members of the media or wannabes or whoever on the take or just guys who want to toe the company line for Alabama who put out shade about these Louisiana guys saying how they want to go to Alabama because now that's become a trend. And started with Landon Collins and people like that, and now it's gotten into this craziness where we lost 3 guys, 3 top receivers in the country, 3 of the top 10. The top 3 receivers in Louisiana for sure. 2 Alabama in one class. That's pretty nuts. Not gonna lie, but at the same time, it's the way those went down. Those moves went down at the same time. Same type of thing went down with Sage Ryan, where they tried to poison LSU's fan base against Sage to kind of force him to go Alabama's way. Because, he's getting so much crap on social media from this fan base. Why would I even stay here? Why should I stay here? I'm getting so much crap from all these people asking me if I'm going to go to Alabama, if I'm a traitor, or calling me a traitor already because someone posted that or saying even worse stuff. It was never going to work for Sage. He obviously chose LSU, but the point is that it almost, caused a young man to head to Alabama because of our own fan base, and Alabama kind of sowing those seeds, planting those seeds, and seeing them come to harvest. And our fan base get too emotional and trust too many pig-headed idiots out there, okay, who know nothing and have no sources, don't talk to anybody. You know who I'm talking about. There's people all over YouTube. There's people all over Twitter, all over Facebook especially too. Just Instagram, just posting bullshit to try and get the clicks, get the hits, but more importantly, planting seeds to try and make moves happen, and trying to think of themselves as influencers in some way. And that's what you're seeing with this W. Keith Friedman jerk fiend post about Booty going to Alabama. Saying that, I mean, literally, he says in this thing. Let's bring it up here. Like, I mean, I was like, and can I quote you on that? And he, of course. And then when I quoted him on it, he was like, dude, you forgot the fucking. And I was like, I was just trying to, protect you a bit, And he was like, laughing about it. So I put, I misquoted him. He said, no source is more fucking close than I am. So it was kind of funny. But yeah, okay. W. Keith Friedman says, I've been told by sources, #sources, that former 5-star and LSU wide receiver Kayshon Boutte, and then he tags Kayshon in the tweet, has informed those close to him that he will be transferring to the University of Alabama. Booty is the second All-American to transfer to Bama from LSU this week, joining Eli Ricks. Semi-retired insider, 43 years of service, supporter of News Guild, dad to 3 and pop out to 8. Retweets are not endorsements. Knox News, at Knox News, support local journalists. Great to support local journalists. Is this how you support local journalism now, Mr. Friedman? Just putting out absolute bullshit? Seeing what will happen? Because I can't respect that. You know, I can respect you as a human being, but this ain't it. This ain't it. You know, some stupid, really horribly made edit of a player with a number 1 jersey with a Alabama belt put on, and with 6'0", 190, Keishawn Butte, 5-star, New Iberia, Louisiana, like committed. Alabama sign with some fire. Wow, embarrassing. And he only got 340 likes for that, man. Was it really worth it? I'm asking, like, is it really worth it? Because at this point, you don't want this to get any more traction. Like, you know, unless, you know, once again, you know, there's people saying, well, Shauna Ricks told us this. Shauna Ricks told us that they were going to stay. Circumstances are very different here. Shauna said that Eli was going to stay. Then Coach O got fired. After that, things changed for them. That opened the door. There's probably whispers of Corey Raymond going to be on the outs. Florida was probably not even a question there, or even on the map at that point. But that he was probably dissatisfied and was looking to be on the outs as well. And so Eli, you know, you can kind of see, we'd been down that road so much that when the news came, it was almost numbing to me, because it was like, oh, okay, whatever. Like, if you don't want to be here, then fine. Like, just go. Like, all right, it's okay. Like, you know, like it was just like, all right, just whatever. We'll be done with this saga. We're not going to have to force you and keep you here. There was a very prominent journalist around the LSU beat, very prominent, somebody who is on a lot of shows, does a lot of talking and stuff, and posting of breaking news and stuff. And he called Eli Ricks a little shit in private conversation to me. He was good. I'm glad that little shit is gone. And it was like, oh, shit. Whoa, like, you know, Eli Ricks had only done like 1 press conference or something. I don't think he ever did a single interview during his time at LSU. I was actually fortunate enough to get a few interviews with his mom, Shauna. There was one we did an interview after he almost took a guy's head off against Arkansas. That was sick. And got ejected. We did an interview about that, and then she changed her mind. We had to take that thing down, sadly. But do I think Keishawn Butte is going to go to Alabama? You know, I can't. You know, I wouldn't be surprised by anything in this college football world, but at the same time, I just don't think he's that type of player. I don't think he's that type of kid. I don't think they're that type of family. I don't think M is that type of guy to just be telling, you know, me so much that his son's not going to go anywhere. I think he would probably be very coy and just like say some stuff, maybe try and troll me or something a few times, like the like the Lee family or such something, but like, it's a whole different tone. Um, this guy's pissed off right now. He's sick of this rumor mill, and LSU fans, on behalf of the Booty family, please just take it all down a billion notches, please. Like, if you want Kayshawn to stay, don't post another stupid thing about him going to Alabama again. I swear to God, if I see Kayshawn Boutte in Alabama put in the same sentence again by an LSU fan, I am going to lose my mind, and I'm going to call you out publicly because this is ridiculous. This has gotten ridiculous. Until Kayshawn himself enters the transfer portal, or until M. Boutte tells me my son's going to be leaving LSU, which we've had very intense, frank conversations where I'm like, hey, let's talk about this. And he said LSU fans should be worried, and I'm like, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? And, you know, it it's him more saying LSU fans should be worried because they're acting like drama queens. And it's like, we gotta stop. We got to stop and take it down some notches here. I mean, the Eli Ricks buzz almost sent that kid out the door. I'm shocked it didn't earlier than it did, considering what happened. But um, it's just Alabama are doing some shady bullshit, and they used a two-bit, retired guy to post that. And it doesn't matter if it's proven right now. Saban wants it to just kind of sow the little seeds. And Pete Golding is going to be that recruiter who's going to be going after Kayshawn the most. Just so you know, it's going to be Pete Golding who's Hammond, Louisiana native. I think him and Kayshawn do have a relationship of some sort, but Pete Golding has a relationship with a lot of Louisiana recruits. Okay, Alabama are in Louisiana, in that state, probably more than any other. It's they have won championships off of the backs of Louisiana players for quite some time now. And that's kind of sad. That's kind of pathetic. It's kind of hilarious. When they when they kicked our ass in the Superdome, January 2012, cap off the 2011 season in horror. It felt kind of nasty because it was like, oh, those are all Alabama guys. But when they won with these recent ones, with Devonta Smith doing what he did in 2020 against all this opposition that was depleted, there's no one really to stand in Alabama's way. Everybody had problems except for them, and they still didn't look that. They put up crazy numbers, but it's like no one was even there in their way. It looked just way too easy. Those kind of felt tainted, in my opinion. Like Saban, you're like just going after mercenaries now. You're building a team of pirate mercenaries, and like, okay, whatever. Like, if that's what recruiting is becoming, and okay. But I believe there's a difference between someone who transfers from a team and kind of like a guy who's kind of like Eric Gilbert, who's just like going to go from team to team to team to team. That to me doesn't feel like ethical, right, honest, or like cool at all. it feels like you want to use people like chess pieces, and I'm not down with that. And I don't think the vast majority of people are down with that. Um, I wouldn't accuse anyone directly, like offhand, LSU of being like that, but it's you know, I mean, even Miles Brennan celebrated it like crazy this week. I mean, he was so criticized for so long, and he transfers away, and now he transfers right back. News that LSUODYSSEY.com broke. Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy, and it wasn't, Arkansas. It wasn't Nebraska or Mississippi State or any of these people coming after Miles Brennan like everybody was hunting for. It was LSU saying, "Hey, come on back here, Bo, come on back here." I mean, there's even a few hosts and people, writing saying, "Will LSU go for Bo Nix in the transfer portal?" And I'm like, "Good God Almighty! Good God Almighty! How low have the standards dropped with LSU fans?" Bo Nix? There were people talking about going for Bo Nix? Get out of here! God damn! Like, the transfer wars have gotten a little crazy, but it's because of shadiness. It's because of these psychological social media tactics that Alabama are employing. Um, they want to try and turn the LSU fan base, who are very, let's be honest, we can be over emotional, and we have every right to be over the last 2 years. Let's be honest at that. We've been through hell, on and off the field. There's been a lot of stuff. Some of the hurricanes that have come through, pummeling, southern Louisiana. It's no joke, and there's been a lot that LSU fans have gone through over the last 2 years, and we don't want to see our heroes go. We don't want to see our favorite players leave. We want to see these guys stay and win championships with us. And so it does hurt when our favorite player leaves. It does hurt when our favorite coach goes. But just know this. Just know this. LSU isn't going anywhere. And in fact, LSU is getting stronger. Okay? You believe in Jack Besh? I believe in Jack Besh. Do you believe in Kayshon Boutte? I do. I believe 100% in Kayshon. Do you believe in Dwight McGlothern? Hell yes, I do. That man wants to be here. He's going to kick ass here. He already has with a pick six against Florida, baby. And that sick forced fumble against Alabama. Do you believe in B.J. Ojulari? I think he could be the best D lineman in America next year. Do you believe in freshman 5-star defenders Sage Ryan and Mason Smith? I know I do. Do you believe in Jaquelin Roy, who just continues to get better and better and evolve and become more of a complete defensive lineman freak? Because I know I sure as hell do. Do you believe that LSU can fortify the linebacker position with guys like Greg Penn III, Mike Jones Jr. coming into his second year? Do you think they can survive the loss of maybe Damone Clark, Micah Baskerville? I do. Do you believe in LSU's 2022 freshman class mixing with LSU's 2021 incoming sophomores next year? I do. And then I believe that LSU is going to have a very strong junior class that are returning. Guys like I just mentioned, Dwight McGlothern. God, who did I just mention? Jaquelin Roy, B.J. Ojulari. These are the guys that And oh God, I also forgot who also transferred. Trey Palmer. So another guy who transfers too, Trey Palmer, right there. There's just been so much news. We've been fortunate to be, working within the thick of it and breaking some of it here and there. It's been cool. It's been awesome. It's been really fun because LSU fans, I love to see what LSU fans, especially breaking something like the Miles Brennan thing, because I saw that going around, and I was like, I've already been talking to people about the possibility of this happening. Like, let's make sure here. And so I just went nuts and just made sure I got 100% the truth of what was going on. And the second I did, I was like, bam, LSU Odyssey reports Miles Brennan coming back, in talks. It's looking very good. And look what happened. Miles is back. And I love the way he announced it with that Wolf of Wall Street announcement. That was so badass. There's a lot of Miles Brennan love going on. And here's the thing, though. There's a lot of Miles Brennan love in the offseason. But that Miles Brennan love kind of, we don't want to see that fade during the season. We want to see him get that support because he's going to be LSU starting quarterback next year. He would not have agreed. Jamer says, I saw this coming. The saying, methinks thou doth protest too much, comes to mind. I believe it was personal and above all, money related. You could be right there, Jamer. I think, it was very weird that when Eli did that. It was very, I thought we had already passed the times that he was going to make that move. But once it went down, it was like, damn. It wasn't, the transfer portal news wasn't even the most shocking part of it to me, Jamer. It was where he went. That to me was the most like, I mean, I've been talking to Shauna since before Eli was at LSU. It's been a long time, and that it's sad. I think that she's worried that I'm gonna say, hey, how dare you, but it's like I can't hate these people personally. I'm not going to hate people because, as human beings, because they went to Alabama. I still have mad love for the Ricks family. I just don't understand the move. I don't. I hope it's not malice towards certain people and certain entities within LSU. I think it's more towards the situation and what went down, and maybe one or two people who made things happen in a certain way with Coach O and things like that, and just how it was all pulled out from underneath him and the losing and all that, like as we said before. But it would be great for them to know that, like, hey, like, no hard feelings from me, but this fan base, they have every reason, every right to be pissed off. And same thing goes for Max and Jake Johnson. Like those two young men are great young men. I'll stand by that comment. That family is an awesome family. They treated me like absolute gold. I have nothing but respect for that family. Same time, going to Texas A&M, you know what you're going to get, guys. You're going to get a pissed off fan base saying, whoa, you just went from Barcelona to Real Madrid. You just went from Manchester United to Manchester City. You just went from the Lakers to the Celtics. You went from LSU to Texas A&M, and then Rick's going from LSU to Bama. It's interesting, and it takes a lot of confidence in your own talents to be able to do that, because you're going to get, the second you make that decision public, you're going to get it. So we'll see if they can back that up, especially against LSU next year. Those games are going to be hot and heavy. I'm going to tell you that. It's going to be wild. going into these games next year against Eli at Alabama, against Max and Jake Johnson at A&M. You might be seeing like somebody like fighting, that classic photo of Kevin Falk about to punch that Jimbo Fisher cousin or whatever at Texas A&M game in 2018. You're going to see a classic photo of like Bull Brad Johnson like about to knock some dude out or something on the field, like some LSU fan going after Brad Johnson, hey, big bad Brad, and they're going after each other. Someone's hitting each other with a beer bottle and stuff. Like this is college football, baby. Like I've got nothing but love for everybody on all sides of this thing, because it's fun. This is what it's supposed to be about. It's supposed to be fun. Yes, there's a lot of nasty money these days. It's all about the money these days, But at the same time, I think it's also like about this reputation thing and respect, and but this has been LSU versus Alabama Transfer Wars, presented by LSUODYSSEY.com. I'm your host, Lon Phillips Sullivan. Definitely like, subscribe, follow, all that stuff. We hardly ask for that type of stuff, because usually A, we forget, B, we just it's weird. But just please, if you're watching this, for God's sake, help us with the algorithm. Let us mess with the algorithm. Okay, come on, help us out a little. Come on. As for Alabama, like LSU fans need to nut up. Okay, don't be so, what's the word I'm looking for here? Impotent about this. Okay, we just pulled in the nucleus of a championship team in one recruiting class, a team that is going to be fun to watch kick Alabama's ass. I'm going to tell you that. I know you all want the nice, shiny things, the nice, shiny Kendrick Laws, Shaz Prestons, but this class is more about what LSU needed more than what we wanted. We needed offensive line help, big time. But at the same time, we got what we wanted. We got the number one quarterback in America, Walker Howard. We got the number one left tackle in America, in my opinion, Will Campbell. And then Rivers, sorry, I didn't mean to piss you off there. Sorry, buddy. God, he scared the shit out of me. And then you got the number 2 tackle in America, Emory Jones, in my opinion. And then you got Bo Bordelon, one of the most sickly underrated. Miles Frazier, one of the biggest in the transfer portal. It's Fitz West, an elite defensive tackle that Brad Davis was able to convince to move over to center, a huge position of need. We needed someone who was aggressive and intense at that position, and now we got it. These are kids who want it, who are after it, and they're going to be battling Alabama for years. It's going to be fun to watch. This has been LSUODYSSEY.com's Lon Phillips Sullivan with Rivers getting a little pissed and a little grouchy. This shirt is amazing and so comfortable. Thank you. This is a gift from Michelle and Jack Besh. Absolutely love this shirt. It feels so good on the skin. It's winter time, and this shirt's actually very warm on the body. It's got that beautiful emblem of Louisiana right there. I love it. Merry Christmas, everybody. Of course, we'll be seeing you a lot before then, but just wanted to say that, and have a safe, awesome weekend. And remember, LSU fans, put on a 2019 game or something to get out of the funk and get your mojo going. Put on LSU Oklahoma, get that mojo going. Put on LSU versus Alabama, get that mojo going. Just shove it in their face in Tuscaloosa. Remember how good it can be. And remember, it can be that way